Well, I'm headed back in here deep to find some old history left behind from some old hunters from so many years ago. I'm going way, way back in deep on some ridges this time to see what I can find. I'm going way, way deeper this time than I've ever went before, and my plan is to enjoy the scenery while I'm there. It's such a beautiful place back in these old ridges. Get out and enjoy the outdoors as much as you possibly can. It's the most peaceful place on earth. I'm not sure what that is. Some kind of an old hook off of the side of something. There's no telling what that come off of. I don't know. Off of some kind of old piece of equipment or some kind of old wagon that somebody hauled something on. Something is on the side or something. Run a rope around maybe as a anchor on the side of something. Alright. Let's see what this is. I forgot my tripod today, so I have to hold the camera with one hand and work with the other. There it is right there. Old shotgun shell. Old Remington Express 12 gauge. Alright, moving on. .30 to a 40, about 4 inches. There it is, right there. Another shotgun shell. See if I can clean this and good enough to see it. This one is a Remington UMC New Club 12 gauge. Another one got that little starburst around the primer. That's an old one. We're gonna move on up this hill up through here. This is about 4 inches or so. It's down here. Well, we got it out of the hole. There it is. Another old shotgun shell. Alright, we got another old one here. This one's a little different. I won't find many of these. Not in this area. Made in USA. 12 gauge Peters Victor. You can see they got a, looks like a big impression of a P that goes around the primer there. Peters Victor. That's a nice one. It's a long brass too. Been here a long time. I'm sure it probably come from some squirrel hunter back a long time ago. Alright. I'm gonna move on up this ridge and see what else we can find. Really, really beautiful in here. Right there it is. It's a piece of wood, got a piece of metal sticking out of it. I don't know what that is. It looks like an old bullet buried up in it. Somebody shot and a bullet buried up in the side of it. That's what it looks like to me. That's a little different. I don't usually find that. Alright. I'm gonna move on up through here. I'd already see it. Right there. It's an old shotgun shell. It's another old Peter's Victor. No. It's not a Peter's Victor. It's a Peter's HV. Long brass. And this one's a 20 gauge. Got the big P going around the primer there. Peter's HV. 20 gauge. Long brass. Got a little design going around the brass on there. Don't see that on all of them. Probably old squirrel hunter back in here many years ago. Squirrel hunting used to be the main thing that went on in this country. Squirrel hunting was a big thing, kind of like, or pretty much like deer hunting is today. And back then, people didn't hunt just to be hunting. They hunted because they had to have food. Alright, old Peter's HV 20 gauge. That's another good find. Looks like a piece of a plate, maybe some kind of piece of iron off of an old wood heater. Maybe a ashtray door piece or something. Yeah, I believe that's what it is. Alright. There's an old shell casing. It would be a .6mm Remington. It's gonna say 8mm, but that sure looks like a 6. It's like looks like 6mm. That's what it looks like to me. 6mm. I guess that's what it is. Laying right here in the middle of the road. Somebody hunting years ago, I guess. Look at this tree up over the top of me. It'd be interesting to know how many coons and possums has walked out across that. Alright. Right there. it is, right there. This one, Western Expert, 12 gauge. That's the old one. It's in good shape too. Western Expert. Been laying here a while. Scenery's always pretty out in these woods. I try to get out and enjoy it as much as I possibly can. Western Expert. All right. Well, here's the better finds on this short hunt today. There's some kind of a tip of an old bullet. You see the hollow point on it there. Probably come off of, looks like about a 30 caliber. Probably a deer rifle bullet. There's a old brass rifle case. But it says, I believe it says 6mm on the end of it. I can't see it real super clear. But the best that I can tell, it says 6mm Remington. Case in there is about the same size as a 30-06. But the end out here on the step down is a lot smaller diameter than like a 30-06 or something. It's probably a third smaller in diameter right on the end than a 30-06 hole is. It was right in the middle of an old road bed. But the best I can tell is it says 6mm. Found some pretty nice shotgun shells. There's a Remington Express 20 gauge. I don't think that's a real super old one. Here's a Remington Express 12 gauge. All these head stamps was laying in a couple of old different road beds. Now this one's a pretty old one. This is a Peters HV. I think that HV stands for high velocity. It's a 20 gauge. I couldn't tell what gauge it was when I first dug it up, but after I cleaned it up and got the electric brush on it, I could read it. One thing interesting to me about the Peters head stamps, if you look right there, there's a big P going around the primer. You got the body of the P there on the left, and then the loop on the P there goes all the way around the primer. I guess that was just kind of their logo. So Peters HV, that's a nice one. Now here's another old Peters. It was right close to it. This one's a 12 gauge. As you can see there, this one's a Peters Victor. It's got the big P going around the primer there also. Peters Victor, 12 gauge. It was also on an old road bed. Somebody probably squirrel hunting up through there a long time ago. This one's another old Remington UMC 12 gauge new club. A lot of the hunters around where I metal detect, they must have liked the Remington UMC new clubs, because I find a lot of the new clubs. I probably find more of them than I do anything. But those two Peters shells there I just showed you, that's the first Peters that I found so far. And here's the best one of all. Any of the Western shells I find are usually old Western fields. This is a Western Expert. I've only found, this might be the second one or the third Expert that I found. 12 gauge. It's in real good shape too. Cleaned up real good. It was also on an old road bed. Probably come from a squirrel hunter. But that's a nice one. And this one last thing here, this was also on an old road bed. Don't know what this is, except some type of hook. I ain't got a clue what that might have went on. I just figure it might have been on the side of some kind of buggy or a wagon or a cart or something. Either the hook was hanging down or it was turned up, maybe to run a rope under to tie a load down or something. I'm not sure. Must be pretty good material, because my detector liked it. It read pretty high. I guess it's been broke off right there. And some kind of an old hook. About all I can say. Alright, well that's the finds for this short hunt today. So appreciate you watching. I'm Garen Carlin, owner of Moss's Creek Outdoors. Remember that God is in control, and we'll see you next time.